We've all been living on virtual meetings, which really do a good job, but they're not the same as having a live meeting. And the ability to have human beings interact with each other face to face in person is irreplaceable. And I think that's true with a number of things. I say you can't go to the dentist virtually, you can't have a medical meeting virtually, and there's some other things you can't do. And so we feel that getting back to a live in-person meeting is essential, and that from an educational point of view, there's no substitute for it. And that's what we're aiming to have with the Venus part of the VEITHsymposium in Orlando in November.
There's nothing like a live meeting. It's not only about learning about what we know about devices, but we can go up to our colleagues and find out immediately what is being presented now as opposed to their preparation for their presentation, which may be 3 months old. Hopefully we can learn more than just that. There's all sorts of learning that goes on in a live meeting, and there's nothing like the VEITHsymposium.
It's amazing how I remember those talks and what was presented in this live meeting much more than I remember the webinars. It's not that the webinars were interesting, they're interesting too, but I remember I retained much more what I listened directly from a speaker than through the webinar. Have you guys noticed that too?
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Enrico. Jose Almeida in the International Vein Congress had a live meeting, and it was a hybrid, but there were a lot of people in the live audience. And for me, I actually retain more being at a live meeting. I'm not as distracted as much. I don't get video fatigue looking at the monitors. I think you're spot on that.
To do an entire meeting virtually, the intensity of the VEITH meeting, 4 or 5 days from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I mean, you can't sit in front of a computer monitor for that long. There's no way. Having had the privilege to participate in a VEITH meeting for the last 20 years, there's just nothing like it. Just the entire thing, the entire ambiance, the gestalt, the entire thing. You can't replicate this on a webinar. It's not even. It's a no-brainer. You got to be there.
We really searched very hard for a hotel which would be good for our meeting and sort of integrate the talks, the space for exhibits and pavilions. And really the Bonnet Creek in Orlando is almost ideal for that. The pavilions and the exhibits are really quite integrated with the auditoriums. It's not like New York. It's really quite different. It's out in the country, and that has advantages. Unlike New York, where we had a snowstorm a couple of years ago, I think the weather in Orlando in November will be almost ideal.
It's highly unlikely to have a snowstorm in Orlando.
The dates are 16th through 20th, November 16th through 20th. Somebody wants to stay on or come early and, bring their family and enjoy it as a vacation, they can do that. We'd like everyone to promote the idea that a live meeting is worthwhile and worth coming to, and hopefully we'll get a pretty good turnout in Orlando.